The funny thing about this is I also was always the underdog. And this fight is going to be very interesting.
Right. My question is for Ben, right here. We saw some unfortunate trash talking on Twitter last week, and I'm curious if you have a limit for your trash talking and what that limit is.
Well, I don't attack wives or families or religions. That being said, unless the boss thinks it looks bad on the UFC, I think they're grown men and they need to deal with the repercussions. So I guess in that situation, I believe in freedom of speech for them to say whatever the hell they want. And if there's negative repercussions for themselves, they got to deal with it. They're adults.
Right. Now, I have a question for Dana, but he wandered off.
I'll answer. Ask me. I got you. I'm going to answer your question. No, she's asking you, and I was going to answer for you.
That's all right.
What do you got?
I'm curious if you have an update on Cyborg and the featherweight division.
What's the question?
If you have an update on Cyborg, is she going to be fighting again?
Yeah, she'll fight again. We're working on that now. Yeah, Cyborg will fight again. We'll get her a fight here soon.
And there will be a featherweight division?
Yes. Well, there's champ sitting right here, yeah.
Okay.
And she just said she wants to defend her title, so yes. They're over here.
Quick one for you, Dana.
Yeah.
Right here to your right.
Hey.
You once kind of famously said that John Jones wouldn't headline another card, and you've clearly passed that. But to put him on an international fight week, and maybe it's not the best time for me to ask this as he's missing this press conference because he's sick, but are we just completely past that? Do you feel something has changed in John Jones where this is a guy you can completely trust moving forward?
Yeah, listen, we don't know. John Jones right now, like I said in the press conference, is given the opportunity to erase all the mistakes from the past and one of the greatest talents ever in the history of any sport. And, it's up to him now. It's up to him whether he's gonna overcome these personal demons that he has and go out and, do what he's so talented and so gifted, and will he continue to stay on the right path and do this? He is legitimately sick today. And like I said, when I opened the press conference, nobody gives him the benefit of the doubt, even me. When I heard he was sick, I was like, oh, Jesus, here we go again. But, we'll see. That's up to John Jones. But, yeah, he's headlining, and hopefully, it all works out.
Well, I guess and Brett, they put me on the card, so in case John doesn't show up at work, I got your numbers. We'll be
Thanks,
good.
buddy.
You have a second headliner on the card, yeah. I guess just as a follow-up that, though, just to kind of get an idea of, does that conversation even come up? Like when you're booking him to main event, International Fight Week, do you even consider it at this point, or is it just...
No. Listen, he's been busy, he's been active, and he wants to stay active. He wants to continue to stay in the gym and fight. So that's a good place for John Jones. So if we can keep him busy, we will.
Ben, I wanted to ask you a question, and I'm disappointed that George isn't here because you shared a story once with me about George, and I'm just wondering, I want to get both sides of it, but for the record, you and George have shared the mats on at a gym before.
I believe in December of 2008, correct.
Can you tell me how that went?
Well, there's some guys, and this is where there's wrestling MMA, you grab a hold of them, and they're just not strong at all. And you think, there is no way on God's green earth this guy could do anything to me. It's totally impossible. I will do whatever I want to this person. I will dominate them. I will humiliate them. And when I grabbed George, even though I was only 2 months into my MMA career with no fights, that's how I felt about it. I can't assume that's very much different.
When we track him down and ask him if that story is true, what do you think he's going to say?
He's a habitual liar, so I'm sure he does it differently.
Quick one for Rafael. Just your thoughts on welcoming Kevin Lee to the welterweight division, if you think it's a good home for him, and because he's coming up from another division, what do you think a win over Kevin Lee does for your career?
Yeah, I was trying to work on different options with different fights for me, for my next fight, but none of them work. We were in negotiation with Nick Diaz, Masvidal, and Masvidal's fighting Ben now. And the fight with Nick didn't work out. And Kevin Lee is a guy that he was on top 5 on lightweight division. And Sean told me he needs to put some fight that makes sense for me. And you know,
you're welcome.
I'm coming off from 2 losses, but you know, I only got 2 losses on this division for the champion and for the former and for interim champion too. And Kevin Lee coming up, you know, tough guy. You know, I'm sure he's gonna bring it and it'll be a fun fight.
And then one for Anthony. Anthony, I saw in another interview that Alex had mentioned that if he can't beat you, maybe he doesn't have it anymore, almost indicating that he may give it up if he can't beat somebody of your caliber. What did you make of those statements?
You know, when you read it in print, it sounds like shit. But if you actually listen to the interview, man, I don't think he's really taking a shot at me. I think he's probably in a similar place to a lot of people. He's trying to figure out where his career's at. You know, he's had several shots at the title and hasn't been able to get it done. And if you can't hang around at the top of the division, which is where I'm at, you know, maybe there's other things out there. That said, I think that a lot of people in the division are having a hard time getting used to guys like me and Thiago hanging out at the top of the division. You know, like it's kind of been the same for a long time, and we kind of came in and shook shit up. And I think people are having a hard time getting used to that.
Question for Rose.
Hello.
Hey, Rose, straight ahead over here.
Okay.
Last time you were in Atlanta was when you suffered your last loss before going on this run and being champion. I'm just wondering, is this the first time that you're back here?
Yeah.
What's the difference between that Rose and the one sitting in front of us today?
Well, I'm in this arena and with Pat with me, so that's the biggest difference. He was missing from my camp, so like I felt like I was missing a leg or something. Missing my heart.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious, when do you go to Brazil? How early will you go there to get acclimated?
I feel like if you need to get acclimated, you're not ready, so I'll be there Monday or Tuesday, I think. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. So no week in advance or anything like that?
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah, just we're on a mission. We're getting in and out.
Fair. And just one last thing for you. Michelle Waterson just won. She is campaigning hard for a title shot. There's Nina Ansaroff and Tatiana Suarez fighting. Who do you think is that next person? I'm not asking you to look past Jessica, but there seems to be a jockeying of position right now.
Yeah, I think they're all impressive. Definitely, you know, Michelle, I think it'll just depend on how the fight with Tatiana and Nina goes. And, you know, I'm really excited for to watch that. But right now, just, yeah, like, you know, I know you said not to look past them, but yeah, I'm just focusing on my fight.
Okay. And a question for Jessica as well. When this fight was announced, a lot of people were surprised that Rose agreed to go to Brazil to fight you, considering you are Brazilian. Were you surprised?
Quando essa luta foi anunciada, muita gente ficou surpreso que a Rose aceitou ir para o Brasil lutar contigo. Você se surpreendeu também?
Com certeza, eu acho que foi muita surpresa para mim, né? Eu nunca imaginei que eu pudesse ter essa chance e que a Rose me daria essa chance de disputar o cinturão dentro de casa, né? Faz mais de 3 anos que eu não luto no Brasil e, poxa, para mim é alegria lutar em casa, na minha cidade, onde eu treino, com a minha família. Eu só tenho que agradecer a Rose e espero que ela seja muito bem tratada lá no Brasil, porque eu acho que é esse o carinho e o amor que os brasileiros têm pelos lutadores. E a hora que a gente entra lá dentro, nós somos lutadoras, né? Nós não somos adversários, nós não somos inimigas, né? Nós apenas vamos lá fazer o nosso trabalho.
Yes, I was very surprised that I got the offer to be able to fight in Brazil. It's been 3 years since I fought in Brazil, and I was more surprised that Rose gave me the opportunity to be able to do this. You know, I hope she's very well treated in Brazil. At the end of the day, we're fighters, we're not enemies, and I really thank her and the UFC for the opportunity.
Okay, and for Kevin, I spoke to Ally Quinta recently about you moving up to 170, and he kind of dismissed you and said that you're done as a fighter now, that's why you have to go up, and I'm wondering if you heard those comments and if you had a retort.
Yeah, I mean, I hear that from a lot of my fans. Al still is my biggest fan, and it's getting a little weird at this point. For me, you know, there are a lot of big fights still to be had at lightweight. Me and Khabib still gonna have a date. Me and Conor is definitely still gonna be out there. But now I'm focusing more on going up, being healthy, showing up for a real fight. And then now I'm at 170, so, you know, even Usman I've been kind of eyeing a little bit too. So we'll see. There's a lot of big fights out there, and there's a lot of options, and I like options more than anything.
Okay, just a couple more. I just want to ask Anthony a quick question about Luke Rockhold moving up to 205. Oh, you don't have to see me, it's okay. He was dismissive of your performance against John.
Yeah, that guy's a fucking piece of shit. Fuck Luke Rockhold. The first opportunity I get, I'm gonna drill a hole through Luke Rockhold's fucking face. I promise you guys that.
Regardless of what happens in this fight, is that who you want next?
The first opportunity I get after this fight, doesn't matter what happens. I'll fight Luke Rockhold with one fucking leg. I'm gonna beat that dude's fucking ass.
And for Alex, did you see Anthony's fight against John? And if so, what did you make of, you obviously know John very well, what did you make of how he fought him?
Well, it was a good fight, and you know, he fought well. It was a five-rounder, a tough fight, but I think, you know, John is John. He's a tough guy for us all. So, you know, he did what he could do, you know, and he hung out there and gave John 5 rounds. So it was a good fight to watch.
Okay. Dana, if I could ask you 2 questions. June 22nd in South Carolina, there isn't a main event for that one. Do you have an update on that?
No, but we're working on it. That's one we're working on right now.
Okay. And when do you expect to announce Daniel Cormier versus Brock Lesnar?
Seriously, that fight isn't even in the works. That fight isn't even in the works. That fight might not even happen first. I know. Yeah, that's what Cormier said too.
What happened?
Nothing happened. We haven't even talked to Brock.
So he's not, there's a chance he might not fight again?
Yeah, no, I don't know if he'll fight again, but we don't want to have a date for him right now. The first fight might be Stipe.
Okay.
Yeah.
When do you hope to make that decision?
I don't know, yeah. We got to wait for Cormier. Cormier went back in the gym, I think 2 weeks ago, and did a light workout. You know, he's still not healthy. So as soon as he's healthy to fight, we can make a decision on, you know, when we would do him and Stipe.
But just curious, did something happen with Brock, or did he have a change of heart?
Nothing happened. I mean, that was what we wanted to do, but Brock and I hadn't even talked. I haven't even talked to Brock.
Are you planning on talking to him soon?
Like I said, many times, when Brock Lesnar's ready, he'll call me.
Okay, thank you.
Just want to follow up with Alex, please. Alex, do you want to clarify those comments? Because I think a lot of people did say, you know, think that you were suggesting you were on a different level than Anthony. Do you want to clarify what you meant by that?
No, I'm here to fight the best and to beat the best, and if I can't do that, then I don't know. That's what I meant with that interview. Anthony's a tough dude, and he comes to fight, and I'm here to fight, so I can't wait to give him a welcome into Stockholm, 1st of June.
Thank you, Alex. Just a quick follow-up for Jessica as well. Jessica, obviously Rose famously, you know, had to beat the champ twice. With her coming to your backyard for this challenge, do you feel like if you beat her, you're going to have to beat her a second time, or that she deserves a second chance at you?
A Rose teve que vencer a campeã 2 vezes. Agora, chegando aqui, lutando no seu quintal, você acha que você merece essa chance aí?
Olha, quando a Rose lutou com a... Lá em casa foi tipo a Copa do Mundo, né? Todo mundo torcendo pra Rose. Vai, Rose! Vai! Quando ela ganhou, foi melhor ainda. Então, eu torci muito por ela. Ela venceu, se tornou a nova campeã. E agora eu tenho essa chance de poder lutar em casa, né? Eu acredito que eu mereço sim essa chance. Até ela mesma já disse que eu merecia. Então, a gente vai entrar lá dentro e dar o nosso melhor. A gente é as melhores. Então, vamos entrar lá, fazer um show e trazer todo esse público do Brasil lá para dentro daquela arena que vai ferver o negócio.
You know, when Rose fought Joanna, at my house, it was like a World Cup game. Everybody rooting for Rose, and everybody was really happy. And I think it's great now that we're two of the best in the division. I think I really deserve this chance.
Lastly, for me, for Marlon, throughout your career, you've been a pretty calm, even-tempered guy, and for whatever reason, there seems to be a lot of tension going into this fight. I guess you just talk about if this is different than any other fight that you've gone into, and if you're concerned at all with how that might affect your performance. I mean, we know when guys fight emotional, sometimes it ends up not being a great thing.
Not at all. I'm ready, and that's the biggest fight of my life, and it's time to become a champion. That's it.
It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Like I'm telling you, you're next, dude. You're next. You're next. And again, guys, it's so beautiful to be in Atlanta, man. It's so beautiful. Thank you guys for hosting the Olympic champ. Thank you.
Another question for Marlon. We saw what happened with TJ Dillashaw. It's taken a long time for another contender to emerge. It's been the same four guys fighting for this title for about 2-3 years. What was your reaction when you saw that news?
I was shocked, but a lot of people, they were all talking about this. Hopefully the UFC now and USADA work together. That's from the fighters, Dana. I'm asking you and USADA to really test us all, keep testing and not just for certain substance, for all substance. That's really, really dangerous. You fight somebody and using EPO, it's very dangerous. And hopefully this gets better. And that's it.
Henry, knowing what we know now, is your victory even more impressive?
Absolutely. And everybody that said that the fight was stopped too early, I mean, guys, the dude was on some sauce, man. I killed him. And that's the beauty thing about it. Like every fight that I've had has been two of the greatest fighters of this generation. And I respect Marlon. I think Marlon's I can even say I'm a fan of his style. I mean, the guy is dangerous. That's another reason why I want to knock the block off his head. For that reason. You're next, man. You're next.
Not happening. It's not happening.
You're next. Believe the hype.
How are you gonna knock me out?
Believe in the cringe judo. Believe in it.
How are you gonna knock me out? Tell me, please. How are you gonna finish me?
Hey, Dana, what do we got to do to get Mr. Nowitzki to visit Marlon's manager? Because he said on Twitter he knows for sure at least 5 people who are using EPO. Can we send like the DEA over there or Nowitzki or somebody to interrogate that man?
Yeah, listen, I don't like getting into the whole drug testing thing. I leave that up to Nowitzki. But yeah, I was shocked to find out that they weren't testing for EPO. That's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Dana, there's a lot of welterweights up here. You've got Kevin, RDA. You've said that RDA is a guy that if you can beat him, it proves a lot to you. That's how Kamaru got the title shot. Would that really move Kevin Lee up the standings if he can beat RDA? And is the performance of all 6 of the gentlemen involved in these welterweight fights going to determine who's going to be next?
Well, of course. I mean, that's how it pretty much works. Yeah, RDA's a stud. I respect him a lot. And if you can go in and you beat RDA. It was all about the timing for that fight too. When Usman took that fight, how he won, he looked impressive. Because we all know that I wasn't always impressed with Usman his entire career, and he completely turned it around, and I saw it in the RDA fight.
I got you.
Also for Kevin, you've talked about how well you do against Khabib. Ben Askren is also a great grappler. How do you think you'd fare against him at welterweight?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the options out there. I said I want to compete against the best. So if Ben and me end up beating, then that'd be some fun. He's got the curly hair going on, so I might be interested in that. That's a good little clash of styles. But right now, I think RDA, he's definitely a deserving of my full attention. He definitely gonna get that. The last fight, even you bringing up Ally Quinta and all that, it's like, I felt like I had a lot more in that fight. So the judges took that one from me. I'm going to make sure I keep him up out of this one. And I'm going to go and put it on him. I'm not taking a step back. So I'm going to show some real violence.
Once upon a time in Milwaukee, a young Kevin Lee showed up at Duke Rufus' gym.
Yes.
And Duke said, hey, there's this young kid. Can you work out with them? And it was just too easy to take him down. I started feeling really guilty about it, so I let up for the round.
Look. Let's tell the story right.
You've been doing good since then,
Let's
Kevin.
tell the story right. Your stand-up was so bad. That was like, I didn't want to hit you that hard. And you went full blast on a double leg as I'm like touching you. Let's tell the story. If you're going to tell the story, speak some truth. If
I felt guilty. I felt guilty about what I was doing.
Speak facts. Facts when you see it.
That's all right. You've been doing a good job since then. But I did feel guilty. That day, I felt guilty. I didn't want to disappoint Duke by not having you come back.
I learned a lot. Like you said, that was a young Kevin Lee, so I learned a lot. That's going to be fun.
One more question. We got time for one. Go ahead, buddy.
Hey, Dana, it's the Schmo. Nice to see you. You look good.
Thanks,
it seems
buddy.
like a lot of your 155ers are making the jump to welterweight, and a lot of your welterweights are coming down to 155. What's it going to take to get a 165-pound weight division? Maybe a Grand Prix, start it end of summer, early fall. A lot of the top guys here would put their names in the hat. And a lot of the people want to see it. And when I say people, I mean the Schmo. What do you think?
What the fuck is that? What the fuck just happened? Yeah, it's not gonna happen, Schmo. Sorry.
Dana, let me remind you this. 27-0, 20-0, USA, Russia. Mian Khabib's back.
I know, you tried to sell me on that one before. I heard that one before.
Listen,
Thanks for coming, everybody. We appreciate it. Have a great day.